Our next speaker is a seasoned software engineer and a tech fairy. She is at the forefront of digital learning and technology for the Xoliswa Learning Group. She's committed to making coding and robotics accessible, and she utilizes her extensive expertise to empower learners of all ages. As a much sought after speaker at youth and women in tech events, a mentor for emerging talents, and an edtech curriculum developer for grades R through to 12, she continues to influence and shape young minds. So, are we excited to learn about robotics? Okay, it was giving a 50%. Can we get a distinction this time? Are we excited to learn about robotics? Much better. Please, can we give a hand for Xoliswa Mahlangu?
Sanbonani, how are you guys? Sanbonani, how are you guys? You know, I thought maybe when I come, I should have asked robot. But then I went and read the lyrics of that song. It's not for me. It's not for me. The song is awesome, but the robot part only. Hey, the rest of the lyrics are dangerous. Okay, so today I'm just going to take you through the day in the life of a roboticist, right? Can you guys imagine a life without robots? And I don't mean the traffic lights, because South Africans are very notorious for saying that traffic lights are robots. Not the ones that go green, red, and orange. But can you imagine life without robots? We think we can, but there's so many things that have robots inside them, right? A lot of cars are partly self-driving, right? We've got robots that are working in spaces where humans cannot really get into very easily. We've got robots that are working in the surgical fields. We've got robots that are working in people's homes. So if we didn't have robots, life would be very difficult. I want to take you back to a time where you guys were still building wire cars. Have you guys ever built a wire car? That's a robot. That's a robot. Yes, it didn't have the electric part of it, but you built a structure. You got your structure moving. I want to take you back to a time where you guys were building a kite. It's August now, people are flying their kites. Do you remember taking plastic, getting two sticks together, wiring them, and actually getting it to take flight? Is that not a robot? Or it's not a robot because it's from Africa? Sometimes we look at our African intelligence and then we demean it a bit. But let me take you through my talk. So pictured here, I am with Walker. So Walker is a very cool robot that can actually touch things and move things around. And they were just showing us the evolution of Walker. So there I'm standing next to 5 generations of Walker. Just a quick video on Walker. So as you guys can see there, he can touch things. He can recognize things. He can classify things. So he's got computer vision and he can classify things. Cool, so I'll cut through that. And when people see that, they're thinking, yo, lama robots uzithathela umsebenzi, right? That's what a lot of people think. These robots are here to take our jobs. One of the things I would like to say is it's not the technology that's going to take people's jobs away. The fear of technology is what's going to take people's jobs away. If you are the one who's creating the technology, then there's no need for you to be afraid. Right? So if you're the one who's creating the technology, there's no need for you to be afraid of technology. So just a little bit about my journey. So I studied computer science at WITS and later went on to do my software engineering master's at WITS. I worked in the corporate space and I really felt a passion for going out and demystifying coding. I remember the first time I learned how to code, we were sitting in the science class, and people were already asking about for loops. That time, Ugel Upuma Esoweto, she's never really used the computer a lot, so she's still struggling with the screen. And people are already asking about these very complicated things in my head. And from that moment on, I vowed that I'd make sure that it's easy for people to be accessible to code, right? That's one of the things I wanted to do. So I started from computing and ended up in the world of robotics. I founded an impact program where we went out to townships and actually evangelized on what computing can do for people. And that's where I got spotted, and I started writing a curriculum for a school. As we were writing the curriculum for the school, we got into robots, and I fell in love. But the love affair was not a very natural love affair. I remember the first 3 months, it was, what are those? Maybe it's not for me. Like that feeling got amplified yesterday when I saw another lady there, and she was saying, robots are not for me. If they're not for you, who are they for? Is somebody else supposed to take that money? Okay. So I started with computer science, wrote a curriculum, and I now teach teachers all over the country robotics and coding, right? The reason why I do it, this tiny video here will tell you. You see that excitement there at the end? That's the reason why I do it. People get so excited when they solve problems. It might be something that seems very small to you, but discovering and solving a problem for somebody, it really changes their lives. As I said, robots are in our lives. They're no longer stories of science fiction, right? They are serving us, they are delivering food. I went into some hotel the other day, and room service is actually done by a robot. If you forgot your toothbrush, they put it in a robot, it gets in the lift and goes into your hotel room. Right. So a glimpse into what a roboticist does. Roboticist is a very general term. We've got a lot of skills that we do, right? So there's engineers, there's UX designers, there's computer scientists, there's mechatronics, there's software engineering. There's so much that's involved into making one robot and one big robot and getting it to actually work, right? What we do is design, we prototype, and we iterate. The number of times I've had to build a robot and it didn't work, I can't count them, right? But you always have to program to perfection. But the joy that you get when it finally works, guys, it's the stuff of dreams, right? We research. A lot of the work that I do is research. Innovation and creativity are part of my DNA. I need to do those. A lot of people always say that tech and science and tech are on the other sides, or creativity and tech are on the other side. Robotics drives it out of you. You need to be creative, right? You also need to be very logical in the things that you do. It's interdisciplinary collaboration and testing your robot in the real world. So it might work in the lab, but does it work in the real world? Now, robots were cool, but then AI came into the mix, right? Have you guys heard stuff about AI? Are you guys ChatGPTing your homework? I hope not. Before you ChatGPT your homework, make sure that you know exactly what you've written there, right? But even with robots, even from a school age, there's AI that's built into them. There's things like speech and image recognition and machine learning that make your robots smarter. So they don't only do the things that you've programmed them to do, but they can learn and adapt, right? What I do on the daily right now, I bridge the gap between education and industry by making sure that we deliver the robots to schools and train their teachers so that we can perpetuate this thing, that it doesn't only start when you guys get to varsity, so that you can start from as early as grade R. The government has an awesome curriculum that's there, and we make sure that we get things into the places. We also travel a lot with our robot. It's been to many places and met a lot of people. But we also train a whole lot of people your age, right? Because the journey doesn't start when you're older. It doesn't start when you're older, right? There are many places that roboticists can work. You can work in manufacturing, you can work in research, you can work in healthcare. There's drones that are doing amazing things in agriculture, right? In entertainment, there's so much. I think of coding and robotics as being an actor. You can take on many roles with the skill that you have. So what are your next steps, right? Get educated. I can't reiterate more that get really good maths marks. It opens so many doors, right? Start with hands-on projects. As you go onto YouTube today, learn a project. You don't need to have fancy equipment. Learn something. Start doing something. Enter competitions. Get your experience as you go, right? And turn your passion into your profession. As I said, it's got its challenges and its rewards. But in the world of robotics, we explore possibilities, we create solutions, and we innovate for a brighter future. So start your journey now.